Hi, this is Kevin with Naples Lawn Service, and today we're going to be showing you how to do an oil change on any of your Z Series commercial John Deere mowers. Okay, so we're explaining to you today how to change the oil on these zero turns. This goes for the 915, 920, 930, 950, any of the gasoline engines that are in the Z Series zero turns. This particular one is a 950M. Uh, Make sure you get the right oil filter for the right engine. This one here today on this 950M, and this is a newer model. It's a 2024, I think. But this one is a AM 107423. Okay, John Deere. That's for this mower. Now, it could vary depending on which mower you have, so check your specifications for which one of your oil filters. Okay, so your oils, you can either use the Turf Guard, which John Deere sells. If you don't have that, you can use any other 10W30 oil as long as it meets the same specifications as a Turf Guard. You could use this Peninsula right here, full synthetic, or you could just use regular non-synthetic oil. Any of that is going to work for you. Just make sure it's 10W30, it's a good name brand, and make sure you've checked your specifications on your oil filter and make sure that that matches up with the exact mower that you're doing. Okay, the only tools you're going to need really is maybe an oil filter wrench. You can probably get that off with your hand, but if you can't, you use an oil filter wrench. You're going to need a drain bucket to drain your oil in, a funnel when you fill back up, and you're going to need some rags to clean up with. Okay, so on these Z Series, it recommends oil change every 100 hours. So that's when you want to do it. You don't really want to go over 100 because when you start getting about 80, 85 hours, it's already used some oil. The oil's already down. So don't go over 100 hours. Anywhere between 90 and 100 is fine. I usually change mine right at 100 hours. Now here's your oil filler and here's your oil drain. The newer models just have this rubber hose that clips on here. You fold it down. It's real easy. The older models, you got to have a screwdriver. I'll show you that. Okay, the drain I was just showing you is a 2024 Z950. Here's a 2022 Z950. And I'll show you how to drain the oil in this one as well. Okay, for these older models, you'll just need a longer, large, flat screwdriver to get in there to drain that. Okay, so you put this flat screwdriver in there and you got to actually crank out the drain plug with this screwdriver. You're just going to twist it lefty-loosey, and that's going to back out that plug, and then that oil is going to come out of there. So personally, I like this newer model. You just take the hose out of its bracket, you just fold it on down there and take off that cap, and that oil is coming out. Okay, so you just twist this cap off here. This is much easier than using a screwdriver method, and that's how you're going to drain your oil. And you want to pull off that filler up top cap because that's going to help this flow a little bit faster. You can go ahead and just take that filler dipstick, take that dipstick out of there, and as you can see, that's flowing a lot faster now. And I just kind of hold this hose here so it ain't flopping around. It'll only take a few minutes to drain this oil out. And while that's happening, we're going to go ahead and take the oil filter off. Now your oil filter is located right here. Okay, if you can't get it off with your hand, you can just use your filter wrench. Same thing, lefty-loosey, we're going to take that off. Okay, so you're just going to crank that off there, and you're going to have oil come out of there, which is fine. Should end up right in the same pan. There's a little hole in the frame of the mower right here, and that oil will come right out that hole. It'll go right through that hole. And you just want to set the oil filter in the pan upside down so it'll drain in your pan just like that. Also, always make sure the gasket's still on there and it did not stay on the mower. Right here, this should not have a gasket right now because you're going to be putting the gasket on there. So make sure it's just like that. At this point, I'm just going to dry off any excess oil that we have because you don't want it dripping later and thinking you have a leak when you really don't. So we're just going to clean this up real quick and spin us a new oil filter on there. All right, you got your new filter here. You're going to take a little bit of this old oil and just going to rub it around that gasket. Make sure it has that gasket on there and put just a thin coat of that oil on there on that gasket, so it's going to spin on nice. And then you just put it in there, spin it on, righty tighty. It should spin freely and easily. If it doesn't, you got to cross thread it, so don't continue. It should spin really freely. And then if it does, it's going to give it extra tight. Do not put this on with a wrench. Just get a really firm hand grip. It's supposed to go about 3/4 after it makes contact, but just make sure that thing's on there good and tight. All right, now you're just going to wipe up some more of this oil that's hanging out, this old stuff. And looks like we're empty here. It's barely coming out the drain. And as soon as that comes to its last drop, then we're going to put some more oil in this. Okay, what I usually do with this, after that's drained in the pan like that, I just put it upside down in this box here that the other one came in, folded up, and just put that upright in your garbage can so it doesn't leak in your garbage can. Okay, now that all the oil's out of there, you're just going to put that plug back in there, just like that. Make sure it's on there fairly tight. You don't have to kill it, just make sure it's on there fairly snug. Clean all that up a little bit. You're going to snap it back up where it came from. Okay, now there's a little bracket. You can just snap that right into it on the side of the dipstick. And this will come out of here. This is your dipstick. This is where we're going to fill our oil. Okay, now this is the old style. I have to take a screwdriver and just go righty-tighty, and I would just screw this plug back in there. Be careful. You make sure you use a nice big fitted screwdriver because that will strip out over time, and you'll have to replace that whole mechanism. It's not a big deal, but still, I mean, the new system is much better, but you just screw that back on till that's tight, and clean up all your pan here, and go ahead and add your oil. Okay, so now you got to have your funnel. A nice long one like this is good because you can just put it right in there like that. And you're going to add your oil. This takes about 2 quarts. And so I look on my gauge here. It says quarts. I got about 3 1/4 quarts. So I'm just going to run 2 quarts out of that. Then we're going to see where we're at. Okay, now when you're filling this, you don't want to fill too fast because you're going to overwhelm the system. And it's going to come up and it's going to overflow out your funnel. So you just add just a little bit at a time and then give it time to get down in there, and you're going to add a little bit more. Okay, you do not want to overfill your oil. You could end up blowing your engine gaskets. So make sure you got in there exactly what it says, which is about 2 quarts. So that should be it. Now I'm going to take my dipstick and I'm going to check that. On your dipstick, you can see it says add and it says full. So in this little hash area is where you're going to want to have that. So first you dry off your dipstick, then you're going to stick it in there. You're not going to thread it on. You're just going to put it till it touches. You're going to come back out. Okay, you can see I'm right there. I'm right here at this point, so I'm just about there. I need to have a little bit more oil. Okay, so it just needs to have a tad more oil. We're not going to overfill it, so we're just going to put a little bit in there, and then we're going to check it out. Okay, you take your funnel out, dry off your dipstick, put it in, press it down. Don't thread it on, just till there, just till it touches. Okay, now it looks like I'm full. I'm up to the full mark. Except for I'm going to start it up and let it run for 10 seconds because your oil filter will hold some oil too. So you want to really go with the measurement after the oil filter is full, and that's not going to happen until you start this thing up and let it run for 30 seconds. Okay, you're going to shut it back off. You're going to pull the dipstick out. You're going to wipe it off a few times. We'll check it again. Just stick it in there until it touches. Bring it back up. Okay, there's oil down in the funnel from me filling it, so it's not rating quite accurate because oil touched the inside of this and ran down. So I got to do it again until I come up with a clean dipstick. Okay, it's going to need a tad more, so we're going to go ahead and give it just a tad more, and then we're going to check our oil again. So we want to have it right on just below the full mark, If not, right on it. Okay, wipe off your dipstick. Check it. And now it is just about to the full mark. It's like right here. So we're good. Okay, so now you just put your dipstick, screw it back in there, and you're done. You successfully changed your oil, and for a very inexpensive price, because you didn't have to pay any labor on that. Okay, so last thing I'm going to do is start it up, let it run. I'm going to check for leaks. Okay, I'm just going to look down in here, and I'm just going to look for any leaks around the oil filter, anything squirting out or leaks around my drain cap. But if I don't see any leaks, I'm good to go. So there you have it. That's a simple way to change your oil yourself, save a little bit of money, and how you do it. And so if you like it, hit the like button. And if you want to subscribe, we're going to have a lot more how-to videos coming out on all John Deere.